In the wake of two major 911 outages, we're talking with the Public Service Commission. Director of State 911 Department, David Sankey, is joining us now. Thanks for speaking with us. First of all, are these outages concerning to you at all?
They're very concerning to us. We expect that the service provided by the telecommunications companies in this state have redundancy and in their networks and in their data centers. And we don't expect these kind of outages to occur.
That was a big thing with the next gen 911 system being put into place in the state. Where did that go wrong? Because that redundancy, that resiliency was a big seller of that.
Yeah, so the next generation 911 system is still in the process of transitioning from the legacy system to the next generation 911 system. As we understand it, in the first outage that occurred in the Lumen network, the calls weren't even able to get to the next generation 911 system for some reason. So that's something that we're going to be investigating with Lumen to find out exactly what happened and move forward from there. In the other situation with the Windstream data center, they had a fire in their data center. There's supposed to be redundancy with additional data centers, and our questions for them are, where was that redundancy and why did it not work?
At what point is your investigation right now, and how long do you expect it to take?
So the commission will be opening two separate investigations, one on Lumen and one on Windstream. That will most likely occur at the commission's next meeting next week. And then, it's hard to say how long the investigations will take, but I would imagine several months.
Do you see that once this next gen system is completely deployed, that you may see some better redundancy here?
Yeah, that's the expectation. Right now the telecommunication companies across the state are still connected to the legacy system. We need to get them to build circuits to the next generation 911 system directly so that we're not reliant on this antiquated legacy system, which is what seemed to have failed in the last several days.
How much are 911 centers in the state connected to others now, and what's planned?
Yeah, so the 911 centers in the state have formed what we call host remote regions. There's 7 of those across the state. We're working on the host PSAPs or 911 centers are those that have the expensive backroom equipment in them. And then the remotes in the region are connected via a regional network. We're working on connecting the host to the statewide EZNet, which we've contracted with Lumen for. So there are 7. The whole idea is so there's redundancy and resiliency. If one 911 center were to go down, then their neighbor could take their call. In the case that happened this last week, the entire network went down by the network provider. And so that caused significant issues.
Do you think that's a matter of getting different network providers?
Well, again, we're working with the telecommunication companies to provide as much diversity and as much redundancy in their network as we can possibly have, so that if for some reason one component goes down, we have other components that can take over and deliver those calls reliably.
Investigation underway. What do you see in the future as the commission's role and what you can do to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Well, the commission has a role a couple of different ways. First of all, we're contracting with Lumen to provide a statewide emergency services internet protocol network. So we have service level agreements in those contracts. We expect 5.9 service. We expect redundancy. We expect all of these things to be in place so that calls get delivered, no matter if they have a failure in one part of their network or not. If that doesn't occur, then we have remedies within the contract that we can pursue. The other thing that the commission can do is, as a regulatory body, we can open investigations like we're going to be doing next week on both of these situations, and we can investigate those, and then the commission can take action, usually in the form of a fine.
All right. Have you heard of this happening before in the state?
In our state, well, there's outages are unfortunately occur from time to time. Generally, they're at a PSAP level or local level. Generally, not at the same scope that these two outages were at. And so we're going to work with these telecommunication providers to make sure this doesn't happen again.
Is there any concern that any of this was deliberately done, or that could happen in the future?
Yeah, I don't have any information that any of this was deliberate. The information I have is in the case of the Lumen outage on Thursday, that was caused by a third-party contractor that cut a fiber optic cable in the Omaha area. And then, as I understand it, with the Windstream situation, there was a flood that caused a fire in their data center and caused them to lose power.
Anything else you can think of that our viewers need to know?
You know, I just say this, the folks that work in the 911 centers, the dispatchers, the folks that take the calls, they did a tremendous job in both of these situations of getting the information out to the public about calling alternate numbers if they have an emergency, so that we can get first responders out to address their issues. So those folks really did a nice job, and we're very proud of them.
I was going to say, have you heard of any instances where people couldn't get help? We haven't, because of this.
I have not heard of any serious situations where somebody was needing 911 during these outages and wasn't able to get the service that they needed.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome.